do listening, man. And I want to thank you all for for taking your time out on this very cold day down here for today. And I
Thanks for
know,
the invite.
oh man, thanks for wanting to join, brother.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I know that again. I know that y'all have plans today. My plans are just went up and just got frozen, so I have to wait till everything thaws out. So I know that we're all just love Star Wars for a fact. So I guess we're just all going to just do it like from the worst Star Wars movie to your favorite one. So and so we're gonna what? But we want to go ahead and include Solo into this piece of shit into this.
Solo
Yeah,
and Rogue One.
Solo and Rogue One have to be in it.
If it's considered canon, right? If it's considered
Yeah.
canon, it goes in. And it played in a theater, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
But but Clone Wars is not included in this. Clone Wars, that's the Clone Wars.
No.
As much as I love the no, actually I like the 2003 Clone Wars. I didn't like the Disney ones all that much, but that's a different story for a different time. So let's go ahead. What we're going to do is We're going to go ahead and start from number 11. Start from the worst, from the worst movies. So let's go ahead. Since Forrest, you're here first, and you decide you want to show up. Why don't you go ahead and start off? What's your bottom one?
The biggest disappointment. Okay. Long. I'm gonna try to make the long story short. All right. I remember going back to the theaters in '97 and going, okay, all right. He souped up the effects. Okay, this will be fun. All right. Hey, maybe that Jabba thing is kind of neat, right? And I went in and I was like, okay. And then that Han Solo thing happened and so on, right?
Yeah.
People, I mean, that was a disappointment, right?
Mhm.
Then I go see Empire, and there's all kinds of weird changes, right? Like Luke screaming when he falls down the pit, and all kinds of changing lines of dialogue, right? Disappointed. Then I go see Jedi, and what they did to what Lucas did to Jedi, I was like, what? Are you kidding me, man? What have you done, right? And well, Phantom Menace can't be that bad, right? It can't be that like I remember really thinking this trailer's so good. Wow, this trailer. Look at that dude with the horns. Oh my God, look what his lightsaber does. Oh goodness, And I remember, and that music, and we all got super, super nostalgic. I was in my 20s. I was born in '77, so I was in my 20s at the time, and thinking, oh man, okay, here we go. We'll keep this ball rolling. I want to believe, And I went to see Phantom Menace, and I was very, 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 very let down. It's got like one good scene. It's got that big lightsaber fight at the end. It's got one good scene. Come on, George. What the, And then he cops to it later. Well, I didn't put any story in the first two because all the story's in the third one. Like, oh, come on, man. So Phantom Menace is because of how it felt at the time. I think I'm jaded now, but so I don't feel as bad as some of the Disney movies. Even Solo, believe it or not, was less disappointing because I kind of went in going, this is gonna be crap. Was less disappointing than Phantom Menace. It just, it hurt. But that lightsaber duel is pretty good. That one scene's good. That's all, man. That's it.
Ryan, you go ahead. What's your least favorite one?
Well, I have to say, as far as movies are concerned, period, it's one of the worst movies ever made, and it's the Phantom Menace for sure. It's a big letdown. I myself was born in the '80s, so I had to go back and enjoy, the first three movies that were released, and I watched them over and over and over again, and I felt like those movies at least, left a lot for imagination. So you could figure out, maybe that was what he meant, or maybe that's what's going to happen in the future, or maybe he's leaving these things open for a better story. And the Phantom Menace was one of the movies where I left questioning myself, like, did I miss something? Like, why? Maybe I have to watch it again, or I questioned myself in the parking lot. But when I got in my car, I still question myself to this day. What was going on when that movie was made. But it is the worst movie on my list as far as Star Wars movies are concerned, and it's actually in my top 5 worst movies ever made. Ever, like, movies, period. It was a big letdown because I remember the previews, the music. I remember all of that. It was more. It's a terrible movie. Yeah, it's a terrible movie.
Yeah, y'all are going in on Phantom. Owen, you go ahead. What you got?
Well, shoot, I don't even want to answer no more. Like, Jesus Christ, I want to change my last one. I want to change it now. Damn, but I think there is something a little bit worse than Phantom. Something a little bit worse than Phantom, in my opinion.
PTSD.
Attack of the Clones, man. I fucking hate that damn movie. I could watch Phantom over that movie. Like, it's so horrible. The only thing you've got is it's a slight introduction to Vader, and then you got the pedophile Padme going after Vader. Like, it's just, it doesn't tie anything into anything, right? It's stupid. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Even the lightsaber scenes have a lot to be desired. At least Phantom had a good lightsaber scene.
Mm-hmm.
At least you wanted to see what Darth Maul can do and stuff. But like, nobody gave a damn about General Grievous or I can't even remember his name at this point. I hate the movie so much right now. Like, I was like, this is horrible. Just stop it. Just I actually like stopped being a fan for a little while of Star Wars because of that movie. So I had to bring myself back to watch it again. Yeah. And mind you, I hate Phantom. I do. But I hate Attack of the Clones so much more.
Rodney, go ahead. You go.
Yeah, this kind of worries me, man, because I'm going to be against the grain about what the lists are going to look like going forward if y'all starting with the fire at Phantom Menace at number 11.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
before I even give my list,
I wish there were only 10, Rodney, so I didn't have to put it on my list.
Huh?
That's how bad it is. I wish there were only 10 slots, so I didn't have to put it on my list.
Yeah.
I actually wrote down only 10.
And the funny thing about it, if it weren't for these 2 movies, Phantom Menace would be my last one, because the Phantom Menace is, after these 2 movies. But in my opinion, the worst Star Wars movie that made me to me it just shit on everything is Rise of Skywalker. To me, that's like the biggest piece of shit. I will never go. At least I'll go back and watch Phantom. I cannot bring myself to rewatching Rise. Just thinking off the top of my head, the fact that they gave Rey at the end the name, tried to pass that on to us, and for us to be hype about that shit. It's like, yeah, I'm done, dog. You can't do that with me, bro. And giving her healing powers, where the fuck did that come from?
Oh, yeah.
Luke could have that. Vader could have still been around. Come on, that shit on the whole canon of Star Wars. So yeah, Rise is mine. I'm not gonna say much. I'll say one thing: it failed as a Star Wars, and it failed again as a sequel. So that's me.
Okay.
Well, before you go forward, I'd like you to know I actually did not write down Rise because I agreed with you.
Oh shit!
So I actually didn't write it down. I was mad myself about that. I was like, wait a minute. And why is Vader dead? Like, how Palpatine survived but Vader didn't? That don't make sense to me.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck.
Okay. So mine is because you two, Forrest Forrest and Ryan, y'all were right. When the first trailer came out in '98, and they showed that gun game coming through the floor, we all got hyped. There's not one Star Wars fan I know. We all.
Yep.
Now, but the thing is that you all are absolutely right though. Phantom at least has the duel of fates. The lightsaber fight, that is rewatchable. I will watch that shit over and over and over and over. Yeah. The thing is that my worst is The Last Jedi. There's nothing streaming on that movie. I went to the movies. When I took my son to go watch it, I'm yelling in the movies like, "What the hell are you talking about? How is this happening? What's going on here? She could beat Luke in a lightsaber fight? What's going on with Snoke?" I'm just pissed off at this movie.
So many questions, right?
Yeah, so many questions. How did this happen? Rose Chica, come on, we can go on and on and on and on. Okay, who's the worst, Rose Chica or Jar Jar? I think of that. I may hate them both, but I may take it over Jar Jar than Rose Chica any day of the week.
No, man. Jar Jar made me real angry with life, man.
I almost wanted to punch a kid with Jar Jar, man. I almost wanted to hit a kid leaving the movie theater. That's
the one impersonation I don't do. I would never do that impersonation. If people try to be funny, that whole Misa Yusa, no. Hell no.
Yeah. He might as well have been in blackface, man.
Yeah, you get kicked in the penis around me talking like that, man. That's fucking serious. Straight kicked in the dick.
And then they made him a senator, like Attack of the Clones. Like, you can't do it, man. You can't do it.
Jar Jar's actually nightmarish, man. If I think of him, I'll get nightmares. I'm good. I can't think.
But either way goes, The Last Jedi to me is I'm like Rodney. There's nothing rewatchable about that movie. There's nothing about it. I have never watched it again. Even when it's on TNT, if I'm bored, I'd rather sit back and watch PBS than watch that piece of shit. There's no way. No, I'd rather watch a Lifetime movie before I watch that shit. And I hate those man bashing movies. But hell, I'd rather watch that shit before I watch that. I hate that movie.
There's a little better writing involved in a Lifetime movie than The Last Jedi for sure. Yeah.
At least they try.
They try. They do try. They don't want to disrespect women, on that channel. At least they get decent writers.
So, Forrest, what's your give me your number 10.
The second least disappointing was Last Jedi for me. Right? I went in going, okay, well, they tried the retro trip on us with the previous one with Force Awakens. They basically just remade the whole trilogy in one movie with Force Awakens, But I went into Last Jedi kind of going, well, let's see where it goes. I've had my ups and downs with Star Wars, and I was just, it's the first time. No, Phantom Menace was the first time, but it brought back feelings of being really, really bored during Phantom Menace. Last Jedi bores me to tears. It's the overall, everybody just seems like, how everybody was really tired during The Empire Strikes Back? There's these stories of, Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, going out on a bender the night before and then, showing up to the set the next day and they just, deliver their lines and do their thing. Everybody in Last Jedi just looks tired and bored. It just, I don't know. There's something off about that movie. It seems phoned in, and you shouldn't phone in something like Star Wars. Now, maybe, what's his name? Is it Ryan Johnson? Apparently he can do, like people like Knives Out. I've never seen it, but apparently he can do good stuff. But that wasn't one of them. So I was, not thrilled. Not thrilled with Last Jedi. Dull.
Well, looks like that. Okay, we got that. What about you, Ryan?
So next in line for me is definitely Rise of Skywalker. I feel like that movie was just an insult to every Star Wars fan's intelligence. I feel like they tried to to slip things in and slip things out to make, writing holes easy for them where they fucked up, in movies prior. And when she started healing people, I almost got an aneurysm. Like my eyes started twitching, and I told myself, I said, out of all the shit Jedi's can do, they're amazing fictional beings. Like keep them in their lane. That's what makes things interesting. They have Superman at least they had the right in kryptonite. They're like, this motherfucker is too fucking strong. We got to create something to make him somewhat normal. And for them to like give her an out that easy to be able to heal people, and then the whole teleportation of physical objects, and they're like completely in totally different fucking universes. I just felt really slighted by the people who they depend on us to spend our money on all their fucking bullshit. But they can't write a good story, and I feel like it was just an insult to every Star Wars fan's intelligence. So it has to be Rise of Skywalker. Is a terrible movie.
Owen?
So again, I didn't even write that damn movie on my list. I just want to know that mine was a top 10, because I hate that movie with a passion. But my number 9 was The Last Jedi. It was all over the place. It didn't tie the movies together. Okay. Everything about that movie said, hey, we're just trying to get to the next one. That's what that movie says. It could have been a standalone movie, and it probably would have been looked at as better as a standalone compared to putting it in this trilogy. Again, the other movie, that movie was so horrible, I couldn't even put it on my list. So,
worse than Last Jedi in your opinion?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was worse than the last, because again, Ryan touched on it. How the hell are you able to do all these things that, I mean, they took away from what the original Force was supposed to be like, right? So
yeah, exactly, yeah.
If it's so easy for you to do that stuff, then why did Vader have to learn how to try to save?
Yeah.
Or again, you're doing transmogrification with your lightsaber now, and now you're pulling stuff out your ass, and suddenly you can fight. Yeah. Like, no, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever how they did it. And then even with them transferring the Force, the coolest thing, honestly, about that last trilogy was in the first one, when he stopped the blaster, and it just sat. That was the only thing that I was like, that is very Force-like. That's cool. It showed the difference between a lightsaber Jedi and a Force Jedi. There's supposed to be a difference between them. But when you look at Last Jedi and you look at Rise of Skywalker, you're like, then what was the purpose of the rest of the movies?
Exactly.
So if you make me question that, you destroyed your series. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Okay, Rodney, what about you? You're number 10.
No surprise. Last Jedi, bro.
Right.
It's pretty much what everybody said, but to me, it really, I think that was the first time where they really tried to test the fandom. They really tried to see how big of a piece of shit they can take and how we would still buy it. That was the test right there. Like, we're gonna throw whatever the fuck we want in Star Wars and watch these motherfuckers still buy it. And we did. The first opening weekend, we did, but then we're like, listen, we some grown ass man, dog. Y'all can just throw this shit at us and expect us to just eat it up. I mean, you look at what they did with Luke, period, and you get somebody like Mark Hamill trying his damnness not to say how bad that fucking movie was, trying to be as politically correct as possible, even though it was just coming out of his pores with the anger and how much he hated what he had to do on screen, and he still did his best. I mean, Ryan, it failed as a sequel, period, and it failed as a movie, and it failed as a Star Wars sequel, even worse, you know. So again, it took the soul out of Star Wars. It was the first time that I even had to look in the mirror and be like, dude, do you even still like Star Wars? Like, what the
I'm just gonna stick to Star Trek You know?
Exactly. You know,
Take it back.
Love everything. That made me question. That was the first time I didn't want to buy anything Star Wars related. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't want a poster. I have still.
Oh man, yeah. First time I told myself I'll wait. Like, I ain't gonna go to the movie theater. I'll wait. Yeah, like it's the first time I've never gone opening week to go see a Star Wars movie. Like, I'll wait. Yeah.
Exactly. That's me with Last Jedi, man. It fractured, or it showed cracks in the armor of Star Wars once again.
Yeah.
Well,
can't argue that.
Well, while we were talking, Wesley sent me a message. He sent me a message talking about some of his movies. And one of the movies he said that he hated, the first movie he hated was Solo. And he said, I was going to say nothing to see here, just a worthless or a waste of 2 hours and 15 minutes of my life that Kathleen Kennedy stole from me. But I figure I should say something positive. I like Donald Glover in the movie. That's it. That's all I got in this polished shit.
Yeah, it seems like he's the most controversial. It seems like he has the most controversial list. That's why I was worried about y'all, because I thought y'all were going to be controversial like he was.
No, I'm talking as a fan. I'm not going to try to be controversial because, again, you know, I grew up on Star Wars. I remember the first time I went to go see Return of the Jedi, walking and seeing the space battle was an awe. Luke fighting Vader, the Emperor. You know, as a 6-year-old, I was 6. I was 5 or 6 at the time in kindergarten. That's all I wanted to do was just that. I remember the old '80s Star Wars arcade game.
Yes.
I played that shit all the time. I even got on my phone. I play that shit all the time. So I'm speaking as a fan. This isn't going to be just something like here. I'm talking as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And my least waste is I'm going to go with Wesley. It's Solo again. I just hated the movie. I'm just not. It's just nothing. There's nothing positive about that movie to me. I still don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. I'm never going to watch it again. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the least. That's my second least. The only difference is I'm going to probably agree with them was Chewie was in the movie. That's just it. I like Chewbacca the Wookiee. Other than that, that's that movie. So
wow. All right.
So
fun.
Forrest, who do you go ahead and give me your number 9.
My next one is Solo.
Ryan, they're getting us.
It's gonna be fun. That's why I have this big smile on my face. It's gonna be very fun.
So apparently, I like Solo more than I like Last Jedi, right? So there is that. But it's another dull one. It's another one where they're trying. At least they're trying. I'll give credit because that's another. Apparently, these Disney movies, there's a lot more reshoots these days. There's with the firing directors and bringing on other directors, and and so of course storylines get changed and performances have to be, hey, we want you to do it this way now, and so on. So it's another one that feels uneven and a little slapdash, and that's how some of these newer Disney Star Wars films feel, that even the prequels you don't quite get that with. And that's a movie that no one wanted. That's another thing about Solo. This is a movie that it's unnecessary. You don't really need that. We have Han Solo adventures. They're very good. Perhaps you've seen them, right? It's not really something I was even looking forward to when it was announced. If you're gonna get your audience into watching something and really excited about it, well, you need to get them excited from that trailer like Phantom Menace did, even if you don't deliver. Solo doesn't even go there. Like, the trailers weren't even good. It just falls flat.
They weren't. I waited for that one too. So the trailers did suck, but it's definitely not one of my worst films. That's for sure.
Well, Oh, okay, what do you got then, Ryan?
For sure, the Last Jedi is next on my list. The reason why it's above the Phantom Menace and Rise of Skywalker for me is I've recently watched the last three Disney movies that were made. I think about 4 or 5 times in a row, back to back to back, to try to make this particular movie make sense to me. And I always ask myself, why would Rian Johnson, make it like that? What's going on? We all want to see some badass, Luke thing happen, and it was more of a letdown. And the only reason it was, I guess, better than the other two for me is it looks good. I like the cinematography in the movie. I like the scenes. I like the colors that are used in it. It's very visually appealing to me, and almost every shot of the movie. But the story sucks, and I think the only thing that made it, I guess, okay with me over the other two is, I guess, the 5th time I watched it, with the other two, it was more like Luke was just more mature, and the film was lazy. And since the film was lazy, I guess it made him seem more lazy. He even had a comment in the film, well, what do you expect me to do? Take out all these things all by myself? He even makes the comment in the film, and I'm like, I guess, it was a lazy film. And if they want to portray him as the old, wise Jedi who's not going to resort to what we all expect him to do because he, I guess, has learned his lesson, I'll take it. And that's why it's above the other two. I'm not saying I like the movie, but I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah,
that's so my number 8 was Solo. I'll be honest with you. Definitely better than Rise of Skywalker. But so here's my problem with Solo, right? I feel like they took away like the mystique of who Han Solo was supposed to be. Yes. Right? I like Danny Glover's part. I like his Lando was pretty decent in my opinion, right? And the dynamic that was supposed to be there with Chewbacca made sense, right? But all of the other stuff, it was all over the place, man. And like it just, they went too far. So in my opinion, it was like the weakest movie out of all the Star Wars movies, right? It was actually the weakest, but it wasn't the worst. That's what makes it funny. So I mean, I understand they were trying to do the whole, Han Solo is actually sometimes bigger than Luke, depending on where you are, right? Some people do pick Han Solo over Luke. Some people, are Leia fans, Boba Fett fans. So they figured, let's go ahead and do something with Han. But, I mean, okay, Han Solo is supposed to be, this gangster dude who does stuff. And yeah, maybe with evolution and growing, that's what he became. But they made him soft like baby wipes. I couldn't understand it, man. I was like, why is he walking around just, oh, I miss her. Like that was the whole movie, And then they made Chewbacca. They made Chewbacca a deadbeat dad. You know what I'm saying? He went out to go get cigarettes one day and never came back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are they doing right now? That's pretty much what they did, Shit. So that's what I put for my number 8.
Wow, Rodney, go ahead, man.
Wow, this is gonna be fun. Well, it's no surprise. Mine is Phantom Menace. So that's my bottom 3. I think everything is gonna be interchangeable with all of us, with our opinions that are gonna separate them. It's gonna be like splitting hairs, I hope. Yeah. It's gonna be fun with me and Ryan defend Solo though. But Phantom Menace again was the first time the crack started showing in the armor. Star Wars didn't know, like y'all was hype. I still think it's I don't know if I want to say miles, but it may be miles better than Last Jedi and Rise, even with its flaws, just because I hate those movies so much. But and I think about the stuff that made it good, like Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, seeing how he eat midichlorians and all, seeing how he was kind of responsible for Darth Vader, seeing the Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan, and I think he's a badass Obi-Wan. Seeing the pod races, those were all positive that I would go rewatch, and I have rewatched it recently, and it still felt Star Wars. Like the other ones just didn't. And I mean, the piece of shit that that follows all what I just said makes it at the bottom of the list, though. Most notably, of course, Jar Jar, and it's just such a bad fucking movie, man. The little kid, God bless him, man. I hate that he was put in that situation to carry so much weight. But I think they failed miserably with him. They failed him story-wise, and Lucas failed him as a director. He was just terrible. So yeah, Phantom Menace is bottom 3 for me.
Well, what's really messed up when it came to Jake Lloyd, because me and Robert were talking about this, and I'm pretty sure we all know how he hates Star Wars. Now, Jake Lloyd, who played young Anakin, he hates it.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, he hates everything Star Wars. Now here's what whatchamacallit, Wesley said. His number 10. I think we're behind, but he hates Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
He said blue milk right from the teeth. I can think of no redeeming quality for this movie. The snow turning red looked neat, and the amazing fight scene between Luke and Vader Jr. was great, right up until you realize it's sophisticated, physically hologram, and the real Luke is in another planet, and he effing dies anyway. F you, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Ryan, it's much sucks to have your name the same as one of the most hated.
He even spells his name fucking stupid, so no, it's okay. It's all right. Mine's Ryan. Yeah, he's like it, and I like his movies, but yeah, his name is even spelled dumb.
No, I just have to toss mine up because again, I had to fight between these two. But I'm gonna go with The Rise of Skywalker as that's gonna be my number 9. I hate now this movie again. I went with Owen to go watch this movie, and we were a bunch of other Star Wars fans.
I really remember that. That was your idea. Just remember that. It was your idea.
Let me make sure that we're all on the same page. That was not my idea. I was like, I'm not going to get my money.
I still have the text message. Damn it! Hey man, want to go see the? Don't play with me, man. That was your idea.
It was not.
I can't get that time back.
That was my friend Robert's idea. He asked me, said, "Sasha, come on, let's go." And that was Robert's idea, and I'm like, "No, I'm not giving Disney my money anymore." And then he said, "Come on, Star Wars fans, I think you would love to. I think we should just watch at least one more time."
So you took me with you for yours because you knew you were going to suffer. So you took me with you. Wow, that's the friendship we have, man. That's the friendship we have.
If I die, we die together, man. Bad boys for life.
Wow.
But again, this is another movie that I saw no redeeming quality. I'm trying to figure out like the Sith homeworld. But we're just now knowing about the Sith homeworld. Why Jedi's never talked about this until now? They didn't talk about it in the text. Okay, just like we're saying, how did Palpatine live? He was thrown down the reactor. How did this happen? That's never explained. Let me go ahead. Rey again. I hated that. Hated that scene. It's the indoor. They're on indoor. What the hell was that party that they were doing? And and why was Lando there? Out of all the Lando just magically had to be there. Like me and Luke, we were looking for the ancient dagger. Really, and it's sitting right there.
Oh shit!
Oh, what about Chewbacca? Chewbacca was on the transport, and she blows it up, and all of a sudden he's alive.
Hey, look. All right, Lando ran out of Colt 45, so he couldn't leave. Okay? All right? Don't you dare sleep on Lando. The party was still going.
Okay, then what about the girl who's supposed to be his daughter?
Yeah.
That was
bring that up. I forgot about that.
That was such a reach. Jesus, that was such a reach.
I forgot about it. Now I've been reminded.
Yeah.
That's my last.
Weird. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. It's just to me. I just hated the fact of how easily she was able to defeat the Emperor. I know that I didn't like the way how on the rise the Revenge of the Sith, how Palpatine was able to take off all those Jedi Masters before fighting Mace. It was real quick. But you mean to tell me that she was able to just cross and then reflect it back to him?
Hey,
just that easy?
She was strong in the Force. She was just really, really strong. That's it. There's no other explanation.
It's an insult to your intelligence.
She was stronger than Mace Windu. Okay? She was stronger than Ben Solo. She was stronger than Luke. Okay? And she was trained by Leia, who was better than Luke. There you go.
You just got to believe. That's it.
Right.
It's like wrestling. You just
Hey,
gotta believe.
hey, damn it. Talk bad about wrestling.
I guess that's
Talk bad about wrestling.
recording. Let's talk about
Wrestling is more realistic than what I saw in that movie. God damn it.
All right, Bo. All right. Okay, go ahead and give me your 8.
We're actually on 7.
Oh, we're on 7.
Yeah.
Is it me? Okay. I mean, Rise of Skywalker's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, but I think I had like one more beer during Rise of Skywalker, so I remember it being slightly better than Attack of the Clones.
Oh, no.
Attack of the Clones is yeah. Oh boy, man. It's another one. Remember how? Okay. Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher went out on that bender, and then they came back to the Empire. Okay, that's how all the CG in Attack of the Clones made me feel. I was watching. I'm watching that movie, thinking I don't know if I'm watching PlayStation or if I'm watching a film. And I get what he's doing. He wants that. He wants a flashier version. He does this in Phantom Menace too. He wants a flashier version of the Star Wars universe. He wants a more colorful Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon movie serial, Flash Gordon, you're right, 1930s looking retro future for those Star Wars prequels. I get it, but it's hard on the eyes. It's just really when I started noticing that all the clone troopers were all CG. Took a minute. Yeah. I just assumed everything was CG. I assumed the whole movie was CG at some points, including some of the performances. But when I started seeing the clone troopers moving around like a video game, I just went, this doesn't mesh well with. It meshes better than it did with what he did with the '77 film, but Clones is another one that doesn't do it for me. I'll give it this. All that Jango Fett stuff looks great. Yeah. All that stuff on all the blue and white look on the I forget what the planet's called, but when Obi-Wan goes and sees what's going on with the clone operation and there's that
with the long neck lady. Yeah.
She's got like that
does look badass though. It does look cool.
Alien, right? That's kind of cool. And it's nice to see Christopher Lee. It's always great to see Christopher Lee, and to me that was a nod to the originals because they had Peter Cushing. So we're giving a nod to Hammer Films one more time while we still can, because we don't have Chris Lee anymore, right? So that was cool. And he's he does what he does. He plays Dracula in it. And he's good at it, but another one that kind of falls flat for me. Attack of the Clones is hard to watch.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Ryan, you go ahead.
The next worst movie above Last Jedi for me is also Attack of the Clones as well. The only thing about that movie I like is Ewan McGregor. I think he's fantastic. He's one of my favorite actors, by the way, and that's it. I don't like it that much. It's too much CG as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Too much music in the background. You know, to turn that shit down a little bit. It's just, it's one of the only Star Wars movies I think I've ever watched where I feel like it is a great value Star Wars movie. Like it's something that like somebody you would it's one of those toys you get that you look at your mom like this is not a Power Ranger, mom. This is not what I wanted. You know. So yeah, but that movie's pretty bad, and it just doesn't look finished. It doesn't look finished to me.
Sorry, this is Star Wars made by the Asylum.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Attack of the Clones, for sure. It just doesn't look done.
Okay. And I had that at the top of my list of the worst, and I didn't say anything half as bad as what you said. Like, jeez, wow. I literally just heard the Joker go, he's using Brand X.
No.
I don't want to say number 7 now because I feel like I'm on the wrong path because of you.
I'm very sorry.
But no, I mean, so mine ended up being Phantom Menace there. And the reason why I put Phantom Menace there is it had its moments, right? So like Liam Neeson's character, I was actually liking Liam Neeson's character. And him dying was actually good for me as well. Just, you know, it made sense because you wanted to see. I thought there should have been a little bit more with Darth Maul. That kind of pissed me off. He should have been able to make it into the next movie, in my opinion. Like it should have been kill Liam Neeson, beat up Obi-Wan a little bit, but you know, Obi-Wan survives and he survives, and then in the second one he gets killed, and then you got to go kill old dude. That's fine, you know. But Phantom, again, you know who I hate more than anything, which is Jar Jar. Jar Jar made me want that movie to end like right away. Yeah. As soon as I saw his character, I was like, what in the hell? My Caribbean came out. I was like, Bumbleclot, what is this? Like, you know, it was bad, man. It was bad. Yeah, I mean, of course, the introduction of Vader in Phantom made sense to me. Like, okay, so he met him here, but what do you mean she had a baby without a father? What in the wide world of sports are you talking about now? Wait a minute. Wait, what? Oh, so you decided to go to the Bible and pull that one out. I guess, you know, like if that makes sense to you, you know what I mean? Like there was things that they tried to bring continuity to, but they totally destroyed it by doing that. Like he's supposed to be the chosen one. He's supposed to have more midichlorians than anybody. Okay, why did he suddenly just be birthed? That doesn't make any sense. I'm suddenly pregnant. Okay, well there you go. I guess that was too far fetched. It was too stupid. It made no sense. So now you got little creatures running around.
We'll have to dip. So if y'all keep going, then y'all miss mine. But if you stop it there, I'll join the next one and do the
okay.
top 5.
Well, maybe he can just run through his entire list real quick.
I can if y'all want to do that. If y'all gonna stick around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to stick around to finish ours. So I'd like to hear what the rest of yours is.
So, I'll be quick. So Return of the Jedi is my next one. It's funny because I grew up with that, and it's like the first 30 minutes to an hour is like iconic or still has that, but then after that it's just boring as fuck, and I forget that most of the cool shit happened in the 2 movies before that. So Return of the Jedi. Attack of the Clones is after that. I don't think it's as bad as y'all think it is. I think it has a lot of good shit. Like we get to see Yoda fight. I like General Grievous again. Seeing Ewan McGregor, I like the relationships being.
Grievous wasn't in Attack of the Clones.
Huh?
Grievous wasn't in Attack of the Clones.
He was? Yes, he was.
No,
he wasn't.
No, he was in Revenge of the Sith, not Attack of the Clones.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tripping then. Okay, well,
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I could have sworn he was in Attack of the Clones, but anyway, that's the next one. The next one's gonna be Solo. I defend it. I think it's a solid movie. I like a lot about it. I would have to explain it more for y'all, I guess, to understand why I like it. I think it's a good Star Wars film. I wanted to see it. I dug it. After that is Force Awakens. I think it was a great the moment Kylo Ren opened with the blaster boat being stopped. I was all in. It was a retread, but I think it did just enough right, and I think J.J. Abrams did a fantastic job rebooting it, and he set it up to be great. And Rian Johnson fucked it all up, and then JJ came back around and fucked it even more. So, so that's that one. And then Revenge of the Sith, one of my favorite. The lightsaber scene, the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan already puts it up to the top. Rogue One is next. To me, that's one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. And Ryan knows I did not like that movie at first. I thought it was overrated, but rewatching it again, I really appreciate it, and I think it's one of the best. After that is Empire. Definitely one of the greatest Star Wars movies ever made. I'm sure y'all gonna go. I don't have to retread about why it's so great. And the only reason it's not number one is because, got to give love to the original, A New Hope. And cool. I forgot how much shit happened in A New Hope. Like, everything went down in A New Hope. And yeah, I don't see how you can, and this may disrespect y'all, but I don't see how you can have Star Wars in the top 10 list without the original. That's like not, having Rocky, the first Rocky up there. I mean, it sets the pace, it sets the stage, it sets the story. So, movie.
So if y'all don't mind, can I finish my list as well? Because I didn't realize it was already been an hour. And
that's fine. Go ahead.
And I'll be very quick. But so the next on mine is Return of the Jedi, just because of just way too much dialogue. It's super slow. And like Rodney said, you forget how much more cool the other movies were, the originals before Return of the Jedi. My next film is Solo. Reason I put Solo this high in the film is because even though when the movie first started, for some reason I was hating on the dude trying to be Harrison Ford, and I got lost in the adventure to where I forgot that he wasn't Harrison Ford. And by the time the movie was over, I said if he could do that to me while me making sense of this dude falling in love with the fucking robot, then hell, it's good. So I liked it because that whole robot shit was a little bit too much for me. Next is Empire Strikes Back for me on my list. It's classic. It's amazing. It's one of my. I'm sorry.
Did you say Empire is right above Solo? Yes. Empire is right above Solo for me. After Empire, it is Revenge of the Sith for me. After Revenge of the Sith, it is The Force Awakens. The reason why I chose The Force Awakens is because, like Rodney says, it's done so well, but I don't think most people understand that The Force Awakens is literally A New Hope. It's the same movie, and J.J. Abrams did such a good job making it feel familiar, making it feel like a Star Wars film, to where I truly believe that those three movies are going to be great. I felt confident in the film going forward after that. Next for me is A New Hope. A New Hope is, like Rodney said, is for sure you got to be in your top 10. It's the original. It set everything up. It's one of the most amazing movies ever made to me. It's the reason why I'm a Star Wars fan. It's the reason why I have all this Star Wars shit in my apartment. I got Legos all over my living room. My chicks like get rid of all this stuff. I got Star Wars shit everywhere because of A New Hope. And number one is Rogue One for me. And the reason why I choose Rogue One to be my favorite film of the Star Wars family, because I really went into it with very low expectations. I didn't expect much from the film. And as soon as the film started with no scrolling text, I said, you know what, this is right. Like, as soon as the shit started, every frame, and this is for some reason the only Star Wars movie to me where every shot is beautiful from beginning to end. There's a lot of Star Wars films where I feel like they fall short with certain scenes, and this one right here, cinematography from beginning to end
is beautiful. I could watch the movie with no sound. It's such a beautiful film. I love all the characters in the movie, and I like how it fits perfectly in between the two films it's supposed to fit between. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You knew it was going to happen as soon as the movie started. You knew how it was going to end as soon as it started. And for some reason, you stayed in your seat the whole time. It gripped all the essence of Star Wars to me in one film. And it stands alone as a single film in its own. And to me, I think that's the only Star Wars film out of all of these movies that does that. So that's why it's my top number one movie.
We definitely need to do this because you're going to have to defend yourself. Man. How is it that you put...
I would love to.
Do not go driving. I cut your brake lines.
Hey, well, it could have been my number two. I don't know why y'all hate it.
No. Listen, I can understand if you put it in your top three. That's fine. All right. I just can't see you putting it as number one. But again, it's your opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that. Normally, I don't try to control somebody's opinion, but we're gonna have to talk. Okay.
I think most people don't understand that the original 3 Star Wars films are dialogue heavy. And if you are a Dragon Ball Z fan, you know that whole filler episode that you had to wait all day to go see, and you sit there and you're like, shit, he's still making that spirit bomb. He's still doing that shit. And the first 3 Star Wars films, it's just a bunch of filler with a bunch of cool stuff and a lot of great characters. And that's why I like them so much, because it leaves so much for the mind to fill in these blanks. And Rogue One is the only film that they didn't have any of those parameters. It had to be what it had to be. It's the only film where no one could add or take away shit to make it their film. And they had to stay within those parameters, and I just think that they killed it. They murdered it. And the rest of it is history. You know, everybody is emotional about the first 3 because they were the first. But as far as movies are concerned, they set up everything for all of us to have that imagination. But if you watch them, they don't stand that well to even action films to me. Like, they're just so good and they're so different that they created a universe for us to live in and have a good time. But I'm an action adventure film person, and they're not the best. They're not. Like, I wouldn't even put the top 3 Star Wars trilogy films in any of my top 10 action movies. I wouldn't. Nope. And that's for a reason. They're great stories. They're great films, and that's why we're having these conversations, because there's so many holes. They're everywhere. There's holes in this whole thing, and I hate fucking holes in movies. I can't stand them. And Star Wars is just a whole series full of fucking holes, man. And Rogue One is the only movie out of all these films, 0 holes.
Oh, bullshit. You know I blew that up. It got
0, bro.
It's still a good 0. Movie. It got a lot of holes.
Well, since you're gonna leave, I can tell you that it is in my top 5 of this list.
Yeah,
it's in my top 5. Yeah,
I'm the only person that puts it number 1.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to y'all. Yeah. See what? So yeah, definitely upload this.
I want to know. I want to know everybody else's list over.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for you guys being able to stop by again. Maybe next we can be able to. I guess I'll send you a text and let you guys know next time we'll talk. And then we'll just do like a sit-down discussion, talk about the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I'm down for that. And I want that struck a nerve with Owen, so I want to hear his wrestling. That would be a good one.
I can't even do the wrestling conversation.
I'm attitude era right now.
We can do a wrestling conversation, damn it.